we're using video 2 that you watched last night and the packet that we started yesterday, the 6.3 packet that we started yesterday. And we're using those notes to help us set up these examples, okay? So, you've got these written down. You've drawn out your bars, or you're going to draw out your bars, right? Like we saw yesterday in our notes, and those are out on your desk. You're looking at those to help you. I'm going to switch so that we have more room. Do we need more time to finish them? Okay, so we're going to pause here and finish drawing bars for each of these, and then check with your neighbor and see what you got for each of those answers. An estimate is fine. You do not have to type anything in. You don't have to calculate anything. I want to see your bars, and I want to see your estimate answer, okay? So go back to work. We'll use these 3 examples to help us summarize what we talked about yesterday, okay? So I'm going to draw my bars. And if I'm talking, I want to know here what percent, this is one we did yesterday in our examples, of 4 is 7. What's the whole in this one? Either? 4, right? Of, we're going to learn that of, that clue word right there tells you that this is the whole. So right away I'm going to label that the whole is 7. So that would be the, is that the part or the percent? Part, yeah. And we use A for the part. So what percent of 4 is 7? So that means my whole goes there. Where would 7 be? Way past that, right? I'm going to have to extend it out to here, and I want to know what percent this is. What were your guesses? Just yell them out. 130. 170. Okay, how much more am I adding here? I'm adding another 3. So I hear some, oops, let me put the part there. I hear some people saying that I'm adding another 3, which they think is 75%. So this brings us to 175%. Good thinking. This would be 100%. Okay, check that your bar has all of this shaded in. Here's my whole, here's 100%, and there's my answer. Okay? All right, number 2. I'm going to draw my bar. Okay, what number is 80% of 60? What 2 pieces are they giving me here? Percent and the whole. Clue word again, of, tells you the whole. So whole there. Okay, so what number is 80% of 60? Let's put our 60 in. This would be 100%. 80% might be about here, right? And what am I looking for? The part. Okay. Estimates, guesses. Yell them out. 48, 45, 47, somewhere in there would be a good estimate. Good enough for me. Okay? Now, we did both of those yesterday. Let's use this last one as an example. Okay? 0.1% of what number is 4? All right, what are they giving me here? Okay, part, what letter? A for part, and this is the percent, right? The clue here, right, is your percent sign. It's usually giving you the percent. Okay, so I know the percent, 0.1%, tiny little piece there. And what's my whole? Oh no, what's my part? 4. 4 is 0.1% of what number? I'm looking for my whole here. Guesses. Okay, think about your decimal place though. We're just moving the decimal place. What number would we get? Not 8,000. 4,000. Oops, it should go here. Right? 100% of 4,000. Okay? Right? 1% would be 40. 1,000 or 1/100 of a percent. 1/10 of a percent, sorry, would be 4. Okay? There's our warm-up. Summary. Let's go to your notes from yesterday. We're going to keep going on the packet. So everybody find the notes. I'm going to flip to my camera. Here's what we did yesterday. If you didn't get a copy, it's up here on the front table. Was anybody absent yesterday? Okay. So, get a copy if you need it or find yours. Yesterday after the quizzes, we finished the front side. Yes? Okay. Turn to side 2. Let me get mine set up, and we're going to keep going on our notes. Okay. Here we go. Cool, so let's finish up these examples together. Now we're finding the whole. What letter do I use for the whole? W, put it here. We know that total kind of means the same thing, but we're going to get in the habit of just saying W for whole. Okay. So 24 is 33.3% of what number? Okay, let's break this down. Percent sign gives us the percent, P, right? The 24 here is the part. We use the letter A. And of, we said already, is a clue for us that we're looking for the whole. All right, so let's set up our bar. I'm going to put, I don't know the whole, that's what I'm looking for. Where would 33.3% be? Let's estimate that. Here's 50%-ish, so 33% is also a, what fraction? It was on your quiz yesterday. 1/3, yeah, so estimate 1/3 of your bar there. And that's 24. Well, since we know that's 1/3, what would 2/3 be? Yep, but what number down here? 24, 48, and then what's our whole? We're counting by 24s here. 24, 24, 24, 72. I would estimate, and in this case, really, I could calculate it to be 72 is the whole. Okay? All right, let's do one more. 13 is 25% of what number? Well, let's find, here would be 50%, here would be 25%, and that's 13. Do you know 25%? Is that a fraction we know? What fraction? 1/4. Yeah, so that means there's 4 equal pieces here. 13, 13, 13, 13. What's your whole? What's your whole? 50 what? 52. Okay. So we're estimating it, or if you can work out the numbers here, we got an exact answer. Okay? All right. You set up C, D, and E. So we're going to pause for a minute and let everybody work and finish C, D, and E. If you're done, check with your neighbor and we'll come back and check in a minute. Pretty much done with these. Let's talk about them quick. Any volunteers for C? Thoughts on C? What are you thinking? Go ahead, Lucas. 550. Tell me what you, so you did 20% up here, about there. And then how did you think or estimate 550? Okay, so you multiplied it by 5, and that gave you 550. Sounds good to me. Thanks. All right, how about D? Any volunteers? Go ahead, Ellie. Yeah, so if I put 75% here, and that's 75, then 100 would be my whole. 100% would be 100. Good. All right, E. 81 is 45% of what number? Go ahead, Jaden.
45 goes to 100 about 2 times. So
Okay.
I multiplied 81 by 2.
Okay, and that gave you?
And that I added a little bit. I added a little bit more since it was 90%.
Okay. Good. So you doubled it, and that would get you up to 90%, and that would be 162. And then you said you added a little bit more, and your final answer was 170-ish. Perfect. Sounds good to me. All right. This is estimating so far. Let's take our bars. You're welcome to keep drawing bars for the rest of the chapter and the rest of your life if you want, or would you like to see a shortcut? Yeah. Like in the video. Yes. Let's use that, right? Okay, so here's a bar, 0 to 100. Here's my part. Label it with me. Somewhere along that bar on the bottom is your part. Somewhere along the bar on the top is your percent that we're talking about. And then here's your whole at the end at 100%. Okay? So we're going to take that now and turn it into a proportion, right? Remember, in proportions, things have to stay lined up. So let's take our part, write the full words here too so you have them, whole and percent. And now we're just going to turn this into a proportion. And it would look like this. Part, right, this number over the whole equals the percent over 100. There is your percent proportion. Okay? So, important. Let's label. A is the part, P is the percent, and W is the okay? Clue words here, the word of tells you the whole. And if you need to remind yourself again, the percent sign is a clue that you're talking about the percent. Okay? So, I'm going to write this down again with the letters because that's easier. And you're going to hear me say this 47,000 times in this chapter probably. A over W equals P over 100. There's your percent proportion. Now, when we get into more story problems, we need to think just a little bit first about what's A, what's P, and what's W, and then we put it in the proportion and cross multiply. Okay? So, let's label it. 40% of 60 is what number? 40% is the P. Of 60 is the whole, W, and I'm looking for A. Yep. So, write your proportion down. A, I don't know, over W, what's W? 60 equals P, 40 over 100. Do you remember cross multiplying? Calculators. 60 times 40 is? Oh my goodness. Type in 60 times 40. And then multiply 100 times A. Gives you 100A. Get A by itself, so divide by 100 on both sides. What's A? Done. Okay, I have time for one more. Let's go to number 2. 17 is what percent of 50? Clue word here of 50 is the whole. Label it. In all of these, you're going to read and label A for part, P for percent, and W for whole. 17 then would be the A, yep, the part, and I'm looking for P. I set up my proportion. A is 17, W is 50, P I don't know, and 100. And then I cross multiply. I'm going to finish this quickly before I run out of time. What's 50 times P? What's 17 times 100? Divide both sides by 50. What do you get? 34 with a percent sign. Okay? So, we've got our proportion. We know A and W and P and 100. You're going to read each question and label. What do they give you? A, P, W. And then put them where they go in the proportion. Cross multiply for the one you need. Okay? I'm going to have you finish 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to throw the answers up here real quick when everyone's done. So we're going to pause and you're going to finish this page. And then we'll come back and check. Remember, for your work, I want to see everything labeled with an A or a P or a W before you start. I also want to see, and I forgot to say this, and I forgot to do this, I want to see A over W equals P over 100 every time. A over W equals P over 100 every time. Then plug in what goes where. So if you don't have this part yet, add it quick. Every time, every problem, every time. Here's your answers. Check. Your homework tonight is to finish page 3 and video number 3.